My husband of 15 years came home with a woman who claimed to be his real wife. She had the marriage certificate to prove it. I'm Deborah Hartley, Nathan's wife. We were married in 2005. We never divorced. Nathan looked terrified. Deborah looked smug. Our marriage wasn't legal. 15 years, 2 children, all of it invalid. I want what's mine, Deborah said. Half of everything he's earned since he left me. I should have crumbled. Instead, I got suspicious. Deborah was too prepared, too confident, like she'd done this before. I hired a private investigator, told him to dig into everything. What he found changed everything. Deborah hadn't spent 20 years bitter and broke. She'd spent 20 years running this exact scam. Nathan wasn't her first husband. He was her fourth. Same pattern every time. Marry young, let them leave without divorcing, track them down decades later, claim half of everything they'd built. 3 other men, combined take $2.3 million. She'd never filed for divorce because abandoned spouse claims were more lucrative than divorce settlements. Nathan was a liar, but Deborah was a predator. I called Nathan, told him what I'd found. She did this on purpose? His voice cracked. She let me leave? She encouraged you to leave, then waited until you were worth taking. For the first time in weeks, we were on the same side. Deborah's lawyer had scheduled a mediation, neutral location, just the parties and attorneys. I had a different plan. I contacted Deborah's other victims. 2 agreed to come forward. I also contacted a reporter who covered financial fraud. Mediation day, conference room. Deborah sat across from Nathan, looking confident. I walked in uninvited. This meeting is for parties only, her lawyer said. I'm a party. I've been married to Nathan for 15 years. Even if it wasn't legal, I sat down next to Nathan. Deborah's smile flickered. Before we discuss settlement, I said, I have some questions about your previous marriages. Deborah's lawyer frowned. That's not relevant. It's relevant when your client has done this 3 times before. The room went quiet. I placed a folder on the table. Marriage records, court filings, 3 other men. Thomas Wheeler, 1,998. You let him leave after 8 months. Tracked him down in 2012. Took $400,000. Deborah's face tightened. James Morrow, 2001. Same pattern. Found him in 2015. $850,000. I clicked to the next page. David Chen, 2003. He killed himself 6 months after you took everything. Deborah's lawyer grabbed the folder. Started reading. This is a business model, I said. Marry young men. Let them think they've escaped. Wait until they're successful. Then take half. The door opened. 2 of Deborah's previous victims walked in. Thomas Wheeler, James Morrow, both looking at the woman who destroyed their lives. She told me she'd been abandoned, Thomas said. That she'd spent years heartbroken. I felt guilty. I settled. She did the same to me, James said. I didn't find out about the others until it was too late. Deborah stood up. This is harassment. I'm leaving. You're not going anywhere. I held up my phone. A reporter from the Chronicle is waiting outside. She's very interested in your marriage history. Deborah's composure cracked. You can't prove anything. These were legitimate marriages. You filed taxes as single every year you were married, I said. That's fraud. The IRS is already investigating. Her lawyer stepped back from the table. I need to speak with my client privately. Your client is going to prison. I looked at Deborah. For tax fraud, for perjury, for whatever else they find when they start digging. Deborah's mask dropped completely. You think you've won? Nathan still lied to you for 15 years. He did, and we'll deal with that ourselves. I took Nathan's hand. But you don't get a single penny. Not from him. Not from anyone. Ever again. The reporter's story ran the next week. 3 victims on record. Deborah's pattern exposed. She was charged with fraud in 2 states. Tax evasion federally. Nathan and I aren't back together. Not yet. But we're talking. Really talking. For the first time in years, he's in therapy. Learning why he ran from problems instead of facing them. I'm learning whether I can trust him again. Last week, he asked if I'd consider remarrying him someday. A real ceremony. I said maybe. Because Deborah wanted to destroy us both. Instead, she reminded us what we were fighting for. Nathan lied about his past. But Deborah made a career out of weaponizing it. Now she's the one with nothing.